Hello, beautiful people. I am super excited because today's video is me giving you a life update. Okay, so for those of you that may or may not actually watch my videos on YouTube, and for you joining for the first time, hi, my name is Loren. I actually am an American that lives overseas in Vietnam. Interestingly enough, because of the Rona, I'm actually back here in America. So let me just give you guys an update on what is going on in my life because it's really interesting and really oh, really? So, to start off, as I mentioned, I am here stateside in the US, and I'm really excited for it. I'm very grateful that I'm here because I get to spend time with my family and the people that I love, and get to have that quality time. Since I've been living overseas for the past 2 years, the time that I do get with family and friends is very, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's very sparse, if you will, right? So I don't get to spend that quality time with them, and thanks to the Rona, I have been able to spend that quality time with them. So I'm very grateful about that. It has been very interesting. So after our stay-at-home orders and pretty much everyone is kind of locked in at home. After all of that stopped, I decided to go and visit my nieces and nephews. So if you've been watching my vlogs, you've seen that I've been down to Arizona a couple of times. I also recently just got back from Seattle, which has been wonderful. I got to spend time with my family up there because I love them to pieces, but unfortunately when I come back over Tet holiday, I really only have 2 weeks here and then I have to go back. And part of that 2 weeks is me adjusting to time, which is a struggle, but totally worth it. And so I unfortunately don't often make it up to Seattle to see them. So I really focus on my family in Denver. So it's been really, really wonderful to spend time visiting family in other states as well. So that's been really cool. I have been busy. I've been keeping myself busy by obviously spending time with my family, traveling. I've also been working on a couple of other side projects, which has been great. The job that I have here in the States, I'm still not able to do because of COVID and how things are laid out and all of that stuff. So I've really just been kind of sitting tight with a lot of things. So it's been very interesting as far as that goes. But I have been able, and I'm very grateful, to keep myself busy by working on my online business and really taking that to the next level, because it's kind of been there. But truth be told, I've never marketed it. I've never put it out there. I'd say 99% of people don't even know what I'm talking about when I start talking about it, which is really my fault. And so I'm taking this time while I'm at home, having to stay at home, to really grow and develop that and put it out there for the rest of the world. So that has been a very interesting journey because there are a lot of things that I'm doing really by feel and based off feedback with a lot of users, and it's just been very interesting. I will give you guys, if you're interested, I'll make a video about what it is, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and all that stuff. But I've really taken this time and this opportunity to really focus on that and make it grow. So that's been really cool. I've also really just been working on my mind, my finances, my spiritual growth, and my mental growth. And I think those things are really important, especially now. I think where our mindset is super important because at least here in America, oh my gosh, you guys, it's ridiculous. When you turn on the news, news is generally negative anyway. I mean, they have that saying, if it bleeds, it leads. So that already tells you it's probably not going to be very positive, right? But it is more heightened, I think, now, especially this year, because it is an election year, because so many people have so many feelings and emotions, and they're very passionate about what they believe and what they think. And then you have news outlets, whether you're on the left side or the right side, whether you're conservative or whether you're liberal, it really doesn't matter. There is just so much negativity that's being inundated that I turned it all off. Like, even on Facebook and stuff, I don't engage on Facebook, not really on Instagram. What you do see me doing on Facebook and Instagram is posting my weekly videos and like inspirational stuff, because it's crazy. So working on my mindset has been a top priority. Also working on like my spiritual relationship. That's what I was gonna say, but working on my relationship with God has also been so important. I think especially now, because there are so many things that are out of our control. Some of which I will go into a little bit later on. But there's so many things that are out of our control. And when you feel as though you can't control things, it is really hard to stay positive. It's really hard to keep your eye on like what it is that you're doing and your goals in life, and to even just be like, oh, like there's a purpose for my life, right? It just, a lot of times between the fear and things being out of your control, you just kind of feel like lost and hopeless. And so for me, as I mentioned in a previous video, one of the big things for me is having that relationship with God and working on that relationship with God, and just going back and like reconfirming the things that God has told me and being like, this is going to be okay. This is going to pass. This doesn't define me. This isn't the end of my world. And so that's been a really big one for me. And then, like I said, also just working on my finances. So for those of you that don't know, I feel like I'm talking really fast, so I'm going to slow down a little bit. But for those of you that don't know, I am documenting my financial journey. I believe that I am going to be wealthy, and I think it would be very helpful to other people to see the actual process as opposed to only hearing a story. So I'm documenting it to a T. If you're interested, I will leave a link down below to my website. On my website, not only will you get like vlogs every week where I talk about money and like my finances and what's going on and how that's looking, but I also put up blog posts every week where I detail like what my budget is for the week, how it went. I do a review, what my budget is for the following week, and like all of that. So it's pretty interesting. Right now I'm in the stage where I am paying off all of my consumer debt, which is awesome. Very humbling, because for a long time I was in denial, and now I'm like, whoo, about that. But I'm also very grateful because I'm doing it, and that's what's most important, right? Anyway, so I've spent a lot of time working on in those 3 areas. As I mentioned, I spend a lot of time traveling also because I love it. So those are the big things that I've been doing to keep myself busy during this time. As far as what's next, oh my gosh, you guys, I don't know. I know, but I don't know. So in my ideal world, if everything goes according to Loren, I will head back to Vietnam, and I will be there before the school year starts, so I can be with my students again, and I can be with my coworkers and just kind of like finish my journey in Vietnam. My original plan was to be there through June 2021, but we'll see how that goes. And the reason I say that is because originally I was under the impression, and things changed because of the Rona, that Vietnam was going to open its borders to international travel starting July 1st. That was kind of the target date that they had originally set. And then toward the end of June, there was another outbreak of the Rona in China, and Vietnam was like, nope. They kept their borders closed, which meant I still can't go back to Vietnam, which is interesting because not only can I not get into Vietnam, I can't leave the U.S. right now. Like, there are very few countries that are accepting U.S. travelers, whether they're as tourists or foreign nationals, because of the Rona. So I'm just here. It's okay. But ideally, I would like to be back in Vietnam by September. Oh, that'd be amazing. Since I don't know if that's going to happen, and I am clearly not in Vietnam now. I am really just making the best of what my situation is now. So pretty much what that means is I am taking care of things as if I'm going back to Vietnam. So I've made sure that I have money set aside for my plane ticket. I made sure that I have money set aside for my bag fees because I carry bags back and forth. And I've also made sure that I have money set aside for my deposit. I will also update you on that. So this entire time that I've been here, I've actually been paying rent in Vietnam because I was under the impression that I was going to go back in July, and that was my hope. And my landlord was awesome. She gave me a discount on my rent because I wasn't there, which was wonderful. And then once I found out that they were not opening the borders in July, I asked them, I said, is there any way that I can terminate my lease early without penalty and then figure things out? I also had to move all my stuff. So because I left, how I left, which was I'm coming to help my mom and then going back and then got stuck, all of my stuff is there. And so I'm super grateful. God has been amazing and like orchestrating and like giving me favor in this area because I have an amazing friend, Hun and Leo, who I love you guys. They're actually gonna go to my house and pack all of my stuff up. And then my landlord, she's like, are you coming back to Vietnam? And I'm like, eventually, yes, I want to. I don't have to, but I definitely want to. And so she said that I could store all of my belongings on the 3rd floor of the apartment building, which is awesome. So I don't have to worry about storage. I don't have to worry about like them moving my things very far, which is great. So that's like super convenient. And then when I get back, she's not focusing on renting out the apartments is what she said. She's focusing on growing her business. And so she's going to use my apartment as storage for her business. And then when I am able to get back to Vietnam, I can let her know and then they'll clear out the apartment and I can just like go right back in, which is awesome. And then, so that was great. That she also is sending me my deposit. Well, she's going to give Hun my deposit for the apartment and then Hun's going to send it back to me. It worked out really well. It worked in my favor. But I'm like kind of sad at the same time because I have an apartment, but I don't. It's like weird. So there's that. So let's see what else. I have an apartment, but I don't. I'm going to just see how things go this month. This is the month of moving apparently for my family. So I have cousins that are moving that I'm going to go and help them move. And then we are also moving. So we live in an apartment. We're moving into a house. Yay! And then after that, I actually have a niece that's going to be born. So depending on what happens, I may or may not be here when she's born. I don't know, we'll see. It'll be very interesting for sure. Another big thing, so since I don't know what's happening where and all of that, and I'm a really big proponent of control what you can control, and leave the rest to God, because there's so many things that are outside of our control. And so one of the big things that I have been focusing on, there are about 3 of them, but one of the big ones is accomplishing the goals that I set out for this year. And the reason that I'm so focused on that is because my birthday is in October. So my yearly goals actually don't start on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. My yearly goals start on my birthday, because I want like the next chapter of my life to be significant. And so last year I wrote out several goals, some of which I have accomplished, which is great, some of which are in progress, and some I'm like, not this year, not with the Rona. So I thankfully have gone through my list again, and I'm like, what things can I continue to focus on and still make strides towards completing, even in the midst of all this chaos, in the midst of all this unknown, in the midst of like, what is going on with life, right? So I'm really grateful that there are goals that I'm still able to focus on and complete. It's been really good. But that's the update. That's what's going on with my life. If you guys have questions or if you want to know anything else, let me know. Leave a comment down below. And as I said before, I will leave a link to my website where you can get more about me. So I have vlogs, I have my financial journey, there's a lot that's on there. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.